Hi, my name is Anusrisha and I will be your instructor in this full stack web development course. In this tutorial, you will be learning the entire skill set that you require to become a full stack web developer. When you are searching on internet, you will be finding infinite data on web development. But most of the time, we used to get confused on what to learn next and how to learn things, and what is the roadmap for becoming a full stack web developer. If you're a complete beginner, no need to worry because we are starting from scratch. And if you are a person who is already in the industry, you are also welcome to this channel. It's because we are learning in depth and we will be going to advanced level as well. Here, you no need to worry on what to learn next and how to learn things because we are following a clear-cut roadmap for this course. So, end of this course, you will become a full stack web developer. You can either be a front-end developer or back-end developer, or you can be a full stack developer. That's your choice. And you have many choices after completion of this course. You can become an app developer or a website developer. You can work for a company. You can do freelancing. Let's see the content of the course. In this course, you will be learning front-end, back-end, and database. In front-end part, you will be learning HTML and CSS with Bootstrap framework. Also, we will be covering JavaScript with three frameworks: Angular, React, and Vue. Backend part will be Python with Django framework, also REST API. Database will be MongoDB and MySQL. So you will be learning two databases like MySQL and MongoDB. So we will be uploading classes on every day with exercises, and on completion of each language you will be doing a project on that. After completion of this course, you will be doing a project on e-commerce website. The project will be on Python with Django framework, and we are using MySQL as database, and we will be covering the entire HTML, CSS and JavaScript through this course. After which you will be doing an application with REST API. And let's see what is our roadmap for this course. So as a first module, we will be starting with Python and we will be back to front-end development, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then it's time for databases and we will be learning MySQL, MongoDB, and then back to backend development and will be Django and REST API. So we have three pillars for web development, that is front end, back end, and database. Let's see what is front end, back end, and database in detail. So front end is a place where the user is interacting. So let's take an example. If you are purchasing a product from Amazon, you will be choosing product, you will be adding it to cart, sometimes you are placing orders, and all these are happening on your screen of your mobile or a laptop. And this place where you are interacting with the website is called a front end. Next one is backend. Backend is the place logical operations are happening. So let's take an Amazon example again. So you will be a person who is purchasing from Amazon and you are placing an order. Some functions are happening behind the scene and as a result of that the order is placed. So the logical operations that are happening behind the scene is called backend. So let's talk about database. Database is a location where all the data are stored. So when you are purchasing a product from Amazon, you will be entering your name, address, PIN code, and your mobile number, and where all these data are stored. This place is called database. We can fetch data, insert data, and we can do multiple operations on data using this database. So, what is front end? So, front end, as we have already talked, front end is a place where the user is interacting. In this session, we will be covering HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Let's see what HTML is. HTML is simply called hypertext markup language, and HTML which decides a structure of a website or a content of a website. So a website which includes paragraph, button, image, main title, subtitles, and all these are called a content of a website. And here we are defining a structure for the website or we are defining content for the website by using HTML. Let's see a website where the HTML is applied. This is a website. Here we have already defined the content. Here we have an image, we have a main heading, we have paragraph, we have a button with text, and this is how an HTML page result will come up. Like this is how a structure of websites look like. So everything will be placed exactly, but it is not yet designed. So now let's see what is CSS. CSS is cascading style sheets. CSS is a styling software and we are giving layout for our website. Here we can give background color, text color, image reshaping, font styling, and we have margin padding, and all this we will be covering in the next sessions. But right now these all are the main properties that comes under CSS. Now see, this is our plain website with just content. So now we can apply a CSS on that. It becomes like this. So now we have a background color of green, background color for button, and we already reshaped the image and it's look like a perfect web page. So CSS, we will be covering one framework, that is Bootstrap. Why we are using frameworks? So when we are coding, we will be having a lot of lines of codes, and when we are using frameworks, it makes our life easy. When frameworks is applying, it will be having inbuilt libraries, so we will be using less number of lines of codes when we are using frameworks. Now let's see what is JavaScript is. So JavaScript is something which defines the behavior of a web page, which makes the web page more dynamic and interactive. Let's see how it's happening. Now after CSS, we are applying a JavaScript. So when applying a JavaScript, see, this button will have some functionalities. Like when we are clicking the button, something will happen behind the scene. So let's see how the JavaScript help for that. So when we are clicking on the button, suddenly the color changed. So here we have already mentioned change color. So this button is specifically for changing color of the website, and this is how a JavaScript makes the website more interactive and dynamic. So when it comes to JavaScript, we will be covering three frameworks like Angular, React, and Vue. Now let's take an example of constructing a home with creating a website. So when we are constructing a home, the first stage would be planning the structure of a home, like where the kitchen must come, where the hall must come, how many rooms it required. So this are part called structuring of the house. In the same way, in website development, we will be having HTML for structuring the website. This is how we are deciding how the content look like and where all the contents are placed. And the next, we will be styling the house, and the same way in website what we are using is CSS. By using CSS we are making the website more colorful. So after giving styles for a house, give some switches for the house, like we will be giving some functionalities, which switch is for bell, which switch is for light, and which one is for fan. In the same way, by using JavaScript in the website, we are creating functionalities for buttons and many more items. The next section would be backend. The backend part we will be covering Python. Python is a high-level general-purpose programming language. It is simple and powerful. We'll be learning Python as a first module, and we will be covering Django as a framework of Python. And Django is a free and open source Python-based web framework. So we are using Django in this tutorial. Now it's time for databases. So what is databases? Databases are the location where all the data are stored. We have two types of databases. They are relational databases and non-relational databases. Relational databases are called SQL and non-relational databases are called NoSQL. Now, what is relational databases means? Relational databases means it will be having a relationship between databases. See, we have two tables here, and here we have a relationship. By using this ID, these two tables are interconnected. See here we have name of Anushree and John, whose address is ABC town and EFG town. Here we can see the same ID 1. For the second table, see the customer ID with 1, and we can define the name Anushree, whose address is ABC town and whose product is pen, and she bought 8 pens. That is how the two tables are interconnected. This is called relational database, and next one is non-relational database. In non-relational databases there is no relationship between these two. This is entirely two set of data. It does not have any relationship between these two. So we can back to our database description, and here when it comes to SQL or relational databases, it is representing using a table and it will be having rows and columns. And when it comes to NoSQL, it is represented using JSON format. We will be covering it in later sessions. And examples of SQL and the main SQL software that we are going to cover here is SQLite and MySQL. And when it comes to NoSQL, we will be using MongoDB. And this MongoDB, MySQL, SQLite, these are database management systems by which we are fetching data, we are doing multiple operations on data, we are inserting data. Now let's talk about deployment. So deployment involves packaging up your web application and putting it in a production environment that can run the app. It simply means when you have done with your project, this is visible on your machine. So by using deployment, you are making an online presence. So everyone can watch your website or application and everyone can use your application. This is what a deployment does. So here we are using Heroku and AWS. Both of these are cloud platform. AWS is simply Amazon Web Services. Deployment is an advanced session and we will be covering it. If you enjoyed my video, respect my hard work, please to subscribe, like and share. Thank you.